Welcome into another Whoosh Weekly Roundup with me, Louie, where I go over what books I picked up from my local comic shop this week. And don't forget, the local shop that I go to is Nick's Comic Strip in Danvers, Massachusetts, and for the month of April they are having a 50% off back issue sale. For Thursday through Saturday, the proceeds of those sales will go to the Lustgarten Foundation Pancreatic Cancer Research. So go in, fill in your runs, and support an amazing, amazing cause. So, let's jump into what books I actually picked up this week. The first book I picked up is actually Disney's Hercules, #1. This is a fantastic cover, and while normally I would go and pick up a bunch of different variants and whatnot because it's the first issue, I picked them up for my wife, who's really not trying to collect that many books right now. So we picked her up the first issue because she does like getting the first issue in every Disney run because she's a big Disney person. So, with that in mind, I picked up this issue, and I thought it was a fantastic cover that really kind of ended up capturing the essence of Hercules really, really well. With that in mind, I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic, fantastic Hercules cover. The next book, however, does tie into a storyline that I'm extremely invested in, and we've looked at them before, so it is The Fall of the House of X, and that is Invincible Iron Man #17. A great issue, great cover. It looks like Tony Stark is getting beat up by his own armor. So we've talked about it before on here. Stark Tech is used in the new Sentinels, so looks like it might be a little bit of karma for Tony Stark. And I love Tony Stark, but man, he's done some bad things at times. So might not be the worst if karma's coming to get him, I guess, right? Hey, we'll see. We'll see. The next one is another tie-in to Fall of the House of X, and that is Miss Marvel Mutant Menace #2. So, full disclosure, again, I'm collecting these not necessarily for me. I will eventually read them because they do tie into Fall of the House of X, which is a storyline I really love. I'm still iffy on the Miss Marvel being a mutant thing. I understand that when she came out, they didn't own the rights to mutants. They were really trying hard to push in humans. The show tanked. The comic books have never fully caught on. So, Miss Marvel might be your most famous Inhuman at this point, and the mutants are way more popular, especially with everything X-Men related right now. I just don't know if I like the retcon still, but that doesn't hinder my enjoyment of the Miss Marvel character herself. So I'm actually excited to jump into this and see how it goes. I do think it'll be something worth reading. It's just more of an upset frustration with Marvel management itself. But this is the Peach Momoko cover, and similar to Scotty Young, if there's a Peach Momoko cover for the week, chances are, picked it up. In this house, Peach Momoko and Scotty, two of our favorite cover artists. So, yeah. Next up, speaking of Peach Momoko covers, we have The Amazing Spider-Man #47. And again, this is the Peach Momoko variant. I haven't fully kept up on Amazing Spider-Man, but I keep buying the books because they keep suckering me in with the variants. Whether that's the Disney homage to classic covers used on the Amazing Spider-Man books, or a Peach Momoko cover that just looks fantastic. This cover is an amazingly well done Spider-Man cover. I really, really, really enjoy it. So, yeah, I have to catch up and read the Spider-Mans that I have to see what I'm working with. But I think, and this is full disclosure, I think my run is like every other issue because every other issue has a variant that I'm interested in. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But who knows? Staying with Spider-Man, though, we do have Symbiote Spider-Man 2099. I know I discussed the first issue of it before. It's hit or miss for me. I don't know that I love the symbiote storyline set in 2099. To be completely honest, it's maybe not the greatest thing they could have done, but it's also not the worst, I guess. And I've been enjoying a lot of the 2099 stuff, so I'm going to stick this out and keep reading it and see where the story goes. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But next up, again, there's two reasons for this variant cover. One, if it's a design variant, riddle me as in for it, because I love a good design variant. Two, it's a Peach Momoko design variant, because she is writing and drawing the Ultimate X-Men book and doing the cover A and variant cover for this series. So it's definitely an interesting read on X-Men, and it's set in the Ultimate Universe, so cool to see how they're doing it. It's definitely got some classic Japan vibes to it, to be completely honest. It's cool. It's a very, very cool, very different kind of vibe to the whole run, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Like, it's a different run. It's similar to the Demon Days storylines or Demon Wars, like all the reimagining of superheroes, but it is a different X-Men team, so Peach is not reimagining X-Men we know and love, at least as far as I know. But definitely check it out if you're interested in trying to jump into a new X-Men run without feeling the need to be not weighed down by the history of the X-Men, but kind of feeling the need to catch up on all of the history of it, because it is a lot. But it's a fun read inside of the Ultimate Universe. Now, next up is a book, well, a series, I should say, that I'm not sure they have to keep making. I do think maybe there's some overkill to it, but this issue was actually really good, as opposed to, I believe I reviewed the first one and was like, could have been better. This is Edge of the Spider-Verse number 3. This is a design variant as well, for Star Spider, which is really cool, set almost in like a futuristic universe where the Bronx is a space station, essentially. The Kree attempted to invade Earth. Earth pushed them back. Now they live on some space stations and stuff, from as far as I've gathered from this. It's really good. Star Spider was a pretty cool character. Interesting to see in it. And then we also had Weaver, Web Weaver, who we've seen before introduced, and also told a pretty good story where they had Vulturion, which was like the Vulture, but he used like drones to kidnap random people. It was interesting. Definitely a cool take on it. I think this one was way more enjoyable than number 1 when I read it, where they tried to make Peter like a Weapon X style thing. I don't know. I didn't enjoy that one as much. This one was a really fun read. I thoroughly enjoyed picking it up and reading it. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see where they're headed with these. I do think they have to kind of pull back on it. I get it. Introducing new Spider characters, having the Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse, all of those creates more interest in more Spider-Man variants, but at some point you're reaching an oversaturation, and I feel like we're vaguely close to that. So hopefully they pull themselves in. But definitely check that out if you want to meet some cool new Spider-Man characters, or Spider-Man related characters. Next up, we have Star Wars Darth Vader number 45. And I believe this might be the first cover of Balin and Shin. I could be wrong. I just thought it was a really cool cover. Balin was probably one of my favorite parts of the Ahsoka series. I thought he was a fantastic character. And rest in peace, Ray Stevenson, who did an amazing job portraying the character. So I'm definitely going to catch up on this Vader run when I have a chance. But I picked up this one mostly because I loved the fact that Balin Skoll was on the cover. I genuinely really liked him that much in the show, so I had to pick up this issue. And let me know in the comments, did you like Balin and Ahsoka? Did you like Ahsoka? Did you watch Ahsoka, or do you think it's too many TV series? But leave me some feedback and let me know what you think. We have another Star Wars book coming up. It's actually the conclusion to a run I've been enjoying, and that is Thrawn Alliances. I picked up this variant because I always love like the side by side of faces, where you have Anakin and then Thrawn, and genuinely love Thrawn. He might be my favorite Star Wars villain, so I'm gonna pick up anything with him in it anyway. But definitely had to pick up this book and see the conclusion to it. Our final Star Wars book of the week, and a very close. The top 3 books for this week were very close for what would be pick of the week. But we have Star Wars High Republic number 6, which is great because now it makes me interested in going back to read the second High Republic run from the comics, where they introduced a character who is now pivotal in this one. So it's making me realize that it is all connected, not in a Marvel way, but in a way of like, okay, this is important to read, so you have this backstory. Because honestly, the second run didn't grab me, but now it might, because I have that pre-existing interest from this third run in the High Republic era. So I'm very interested to see how it goes. I'm thoroughly enjoying these High Republic comics right now. They're probably one of my favorite things to pick up and read. So definitely go out of your way to check them out if you have a chance. Um, they're really good, very 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 well done. I'm just enjoying them so much. Now, the runner-up for pick of the week is partially standing on its own, partially standing because of episode 5 that came out this week. And what is that, you might ask? Well, X-Men 97 number 2. These are the prequel. It's a prequel run to the show. It's a 4-issue run, I believe. All the covers are being drawn by Todd Knock, who is an amazing person and artist, obviously. I've had the chance to speak with him twice, once at Boston Comic Con and once at New York Comic Con. Absolutely, absolutely great guy. And I'm loving the covers he's drawing for them too. They just have such a classic X-Men feel. And the story itself is kind of setting in motion Mr. Sinister's plan for trying to make the X-Men villains because the world is starting to accept them because of Charles' sacrifice at the end of the original run of the animated series. So it's filling in some of the gaps there. Really, really good. In this one, you do learn that like Jean is pregnant, which is a spoiler for the show, sort of, I guess. But you do learn that in here, so it's a good tie-in. I'm interested to see how it finishes up to bridge the gap a little bit more. X-Men 97 has been fantastic, so if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go and check it out. It's been a good run on the show, and it's been a good run in the books. They're 2 issues in, and both of them have been pretty good and felt very much like the show. So if you're enjoying the show, go back and make sure to check these out. It's definitely why this was runner-up of the week. Now, lastly, and I know I'm going a little bit long here. Lastly, the pick of the week is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Return, number 3. I went with the cover B variant. I thought it was a really, really cool variant. Cover A is also really, really cool. It's very, I'm going to say psychedelic, almost. But it's a really cool cover. And I know I talked about issue 2 and how it didn't really make a lot of sense to me. It didn't really pull me in. Well, spoiler, issue number 3 got me back. I thought it was out. They pulled me back in. They explain a lot of what happened and who the character actually really was that confused me in the last one. They filled in some of the other gaps too. It was really, really good. It really did a good job of actually pulling me back in. I didn't know if it could. I was very confused by the end of the issue 2. And I'm thinking maybe reading this as a trade will go a long way towards making a lot of people really enjoy it, since it won't have that weight. But also maybe it's why I was able to get pulled back in, because I spent some time thinking about it, trying to figure it out, and it did. It really did. It roped me back in. It's a really good story, and if you're not familiar with it again, it is co-written by Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Ranger from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. It's set in an alternate universe from both the TV series and the Boom Comics run, so it's its own separate kind of thing. You don't have to read any of those other issues or stories or watch the TV show if you don't want to go back and rewatch it for a refresher. Completely separate. So do yourself a favor. If you enjoy Power Rangers, go pick this issue up. Well, pick up issue 1, 2, and 3 and read them, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's a really, really great read. So definitely go and check those out. But that is it for us here at Whoosh this week. Remember, if you enjoy the videos, to like, comment, and subscribe. It really kind of helps push the YouTube algorithm to show this to more people so they can enjoy it too. But we'll catch you here next time. And thanks.